Let me just put you on the spot a little bit. What are you expecting from this game in terms of result? We've played Scotland 2-2. We've played Greece 0-0. United States. What do you see? What do you feel would be an ideal result for us going into this game, knowing that it's the last one before the World Cup?
I'm not going to say anything about the result. I'm saying what I want is they should have at least a step further from the kind of performance they had against Greece. Let's see what the strikers will do in front of goal. Let's see what the midfielders will do in terms of stringing the passes around. Let's see what the defenders
better performance.
Better performance. The defenders
That's what
will do,
covering up,
and for the wingers, for those on the bench, if you're making any substitution, let's see what the impact a substitution will have on a team. Because substitution is sometimes they change the completion of the game. They change the game completely. So let's see what
let's look at the quality that we have on the bench.
And let's see what those new guys who will come up to replace these injured players will do at the end of the day. Because a lot of Nigerians are saying they don't have confidence in the guys
that are there. Juwon Oshaniwa.
That's what I'll be saying that.
And it's important for us to also clarify a few things clearly, because Stephen Keshi and Ben Alaya told us exactly why Juwon Oshaniwa did not come in to replace Elderson Echejele in that friendly game against Greece. They said Juwon was out of that team at that time because of malaria. He just recovered from malaria, and they didn't want to throw him as somebody who wasn't 100% fit into the game against the Greek. But let's see tomorrow. I mean, now that he's back and he's training with the team, maybe we may see a Juwon Oshaniwa on the pitch tomorrow, and give us an opportunity to really judge if we have adequate backup for the players that will be doing business the first 11 tomorrow.
The same way we said about Ederson Echejele, where Taiwo wasn't
in the team.
We said, we don't have confidence in him. Now the same player we are saying
has become our mainstay.
So we should give other players an opportunity. That's football. Even at the Menike, a lot of people say, what kind of striker after we crashed out of the qualifier for the 2012 Nations Cup in Equatorial Guinea and Gabon? What kind of striker is Menike? Is now a golden striker. So let's give players an opportunity. Let's give them that opportunity. This is the World Cup. We chose them to be part of this World Cup. They are not just they have two legs, not one leg.
They're not here to have to do numbers. They are there to do something.
To do something. And whoever picked these players knows what he wanted in this player and knows what the player can offer in the team.
All right. So that's a big test for us tomorrow. No Ahmed Musa, no Echejele, but let's see who Keshi will bring up as a replacement for these two players. Nigerians want to really see if we have players who can fill in the gap in the absence of these two players. Before we talk and talk about some other issues, let's talk about this guy, Austin Ejide. He was in goal in the friendly against Scotland. He's been part of the team for a long time, but there's good news coming in for Austin Ejide, and that's because his wife just delivered a baby girl. That's a World Cup baby, Dumnodi. A couple of weeks ago, it was Peter Odemwingie, Osaze Odemwingie, that had the second child as well. For Austin Ejide, the story is that his wife has put to bed a beautiful baby girl. That's some signs, Dumnodi, that this World Cup is going to be fruitful for Nigeria.
Maybe
how do you see it?
Maybe we'll beat Iran 2-0. Then beat Bosnia 2-0. They play the 2-0 draw with
Argentina.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a good news. That's good news for Austin Ejide. His wife just put to bed a baby girl. For me, that's the sign that this World Cup will be fruitful and beautiful as well for Nigeria. Now let's talk about our group opponents. We were talking about Bosnia, that they are in town, they have arrived. Dumnodi, for me, Bosnia is a tricky team at the World Cup for us. Tricky team.
Especially when you have teams from the former Yugoslav Republic, like what Croatia did in 1998. We saw the way they turned up at the World Cup in '98. They shocked everyone. Of course, we know what they ended. They came up with a golden bronze to them, which was a bronze. So this is another former Yugoslav Republic. Coming up to the World Cup. Their first ever World Cup.
That's their coach,
That's their coach, Sucic. That's their coach. And you can see the excitement in the faces of the players.
They've never been to the World Cup before.
So I think they'll be in this party. And they have to be there as early as possible, so that they'll test what it looks like playing at the World Cup. And you can see the players, they're waiting for that day when they will play Argentina in their very first game. So you could see the players showing some not kind of a street fight, because this is the World Cup. Well,
but some of these players play in top leagues in Europe.
They play top leagues.
So they are used to the atmosphere of top top-class football.
Ejide has an experience. He plays in Europe, but before he went to Europe, he knew where he was playing for. And Ayama was playing in Nigeria before he went to the World Cup. So it doesn't change anything. But the fact is that the Brazilian, and you could see the official boss of the Bosnian team being taken to their hotel and
adequate
security for the Bosnian team. So we're waiting for when the main team will arrive.
The main team, of course.
The real team.
The main team, of course, will be the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll be arriving on Tuesday. After we play our friendly against the United States on Saturday, the Eagles will be arriving in Brazil on Tuesday. I mean, the last country, just looking back at 2010, the last country to arrive in South Africa for the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa was Spain. They were the last country to come in, and they stayed up till the final day, and they were the champions. So it doesn't mean you have to rush quickly to the World Cup venue. Just take your time, since you know you're going to be staying there for a long time. And I believe the Eagles will be staying there for a long time. So let Iran, Bosnia, let them rush there, because they'll be
shopping.
Let them go and
shopping.
They will live on time. They will live on time.
See the beaches, see the hotels,
they
see the
will live on time. Those who will stay for a long time will come in from next week. All right, so that's just on the lighter side, wishing the Eagles the very best of luck. Let's talk about the Chile. Chile is another tricky team. People talk about who will be the dark horses in this World Cup. Chile, surely, Dumnodi.
Yes,
the quality of football they play, the way they qualified, the friendly results that they have, shows that they could be some of the surprise teams at the World Cup.
And the fans are adding
They are traveling by road.
They are traveling by road from Brazil to from Chile, from Santiago straight to Brazil, and they want to do that, and they want to show to the whole world that we can support our team, and this is the way to support the team. If you cannot travel by air, you cannot afford, let's go by road, and they are mobilizing. They're doing that in convoy, and you could see the excitement. You could see the kind of cars they are using. These are high-powered cars. These are cars that you don't say these cars will break down the road, because they know the kind of trip they are embarking upon, and you can see the excitement. The way the South Americans support their team, different from the way they are so passionate. They're so passionate. I think they are taking their whole being into a particular team, and this is what the Chileans, both men, women, children, brandishing the Chilean flag, mufflers, all kind of even of course, talking drums and drum. I say talking drum. It's still part of their way, the ways they support their team. So I hope their players are seeing this, and you can see this one waving the flag about to leave. This is the kind of car they are using. Look at the caravan. Look at the caravan. Food.
That thing is carrying food.
Drink.
Carrying
Look at the kind of cars
it's carrying everything.
These cars, the mechanics that worked on this car must have worked
extra. Anyway, it's close by. It's close by. Moving by road. It's like if Ghana was hosting a World Cup, for example. We can be sure that a lot of Nigerians will go by road, and they will load stuff like this. But a lot of people believe that South American country could be a dark horse. Eyes will be on the regular Brazil, Argentina, but Chile could come in like the dark horses of this 2014 FIFA World Cup. Let's close this segment, Dumnodi, and talk about sad news for France. Sad news for France. The other day we were talking about Colombia missing their top striker, their talismanic striker, Radamel Falcao. For France, this is a big blow. Franck Ribéry, clearly the magic man, the creative force in the French squad, now ruled out. He just couldn't shake off the knock, and he'll be out of Brazil 2014.
He seems to be the biggest news, but he's not the only one in this situation, in this condition. We have a certain Clement Grenier, who's been ruled out also to going injury.
Yeah, before now.
Mandanda the goalkeeper
broke his neck.
But they've gotten two replacements for these guys. They've gotten Remy Cabella of Montpellier, and of course Morgan Schneiderlin of Southampton to replace this guy, but it's subject to FIFA's medical committee report, validation. They have to validate the fact that these two guys have been confirmed out of this tournament and they are injured before these other guys will be replaced.
Yeah. People are asking us on Twitter as well, because of the injury worries in the camp of the Eagles, that can we make changes? Well, FIFA will ascertain that those players are truly injured and will be out of the World Cup, and then you can pick replacement for them. And that's exactly what Dumnodi has explained now with Franck Ribéry. FIFA will confirm that Ribéry is actually injured, and then France can name a replacement for them. But Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi and the media officer confirmed to us that the injuries of Ahmed Musa and Elderson Echejele are not serious injuries, that in a couple of days they will be up and running and they will be ready for our first game at the World Cup. It's not Nigeria alone. A lot of countries are resting players for their last friendly games to avoid aggravating injuries.
The captain of
Cote
Russia
d'Ivoire rested Yaya Toure yesterday.
The captain of Cote d'Ivoire of Russia is out of the World Cup.
That's That's a big
Zero Cup. It's out of the World Cup. So these are cases.
Yeah.
It's common with the World Cup.
It's common now.
A lot of burnout. Some of them have played
long season
at their clubs, and it's taking a toll on their health.
All right, so that's it. Let me just read a few comments on Twitter. Paul from Hungary, our friend who watches us regularly, is also following us in supporting the Eagles. Don't forget the hashtag SWA Super Eagles. That's the message, that the Eagles will go soar to the highest heights possible at the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Ojurongbe at Slick Negro says, my dad, I mean, it refers to his dad a lot. He says, my dad said the NFF should attach a retired referee to the Super Eagles, that such attachment will have positive impact. Usually, when you are going for the World Cup, your best referees should be part of your preparation to tell the players what new rules are going to be used at the World Cup. Usually, it's part of the schedule.
I think the Brazilians have
a referee attached to the team.
A referee attached to the team.
And
Nigeria,
Nigeria,
tell the player what to do at a certain
the NFF
time.
always attach Peter Idibe sometimes to the Golden Eagles, to the Flying Eagles. But the Super Eagles, because these players play in top clubs and they are aware, they know the rules of the game, maybe it's not very pronounced at the World Cup.
You shouldn't take that for granted.
Because
some of these referees, the way the Brazilians structure their backroom staff, is that the referee we have to analyze the psychology of the referees on the field, knows what to do and what not to do. Whether can he compensate for a penalty, for a red card, a yellow card.
A referee from South America, where it's a lot more physical, will have a different attitude, a different temperament to a referee from Europe or from a referee from Asia or a referee from Africa. All right, so these are the things that we really need to look into it. And Ojurongbe, you have raised a very valid point, and I hope that the NFF and the Super Eagles will work around it before the World Cup gets underway. All right, let's go on a quick break on Sports Tonight. When we return from the break, we will move away from the World Cup. We will come to talk domestic football. We will also talk badminton on the program tonight. We will talk the Globe Premier League, the National League, and the stories coming out from the Globe Premier League. Join us again. We'll be right back.